Hello guys and girls, welcome back. I thought I'd show you something different. We're linking I'm linking my coins to my family history, and I thought I'd show you how I've done it and how interesting it can be. And I've done it with the aid of 3 Victorian pennies, and they coincide roughly, a bit like their ages, with the people that we're going to talk about in a minute. So the first coin I've got is an 1863 Victorian penny, and it's a young head. So there we are. I hope you can see that okay. I've got the sun glaring in my face on one side. So there we are. So that's the first penny. So that's 1863. And in 1863, this person on this birth certificate, Dorcas Bethia Court, was actually 9 years old. So when this was minted, we've actually got Dorcas at 9 years old. There we are. So it'll be a brand spanking new penny, just like I like them. You know what I'm like for a clean, nice new coin. So that would have been new when she was 9. Now, I'll just give you her details. She's born on the 4th of June 1854. She's born in Chatham, which is part of Medway and Gillingham in Kent. Her father is George Court, mother is Jane Court, formerly Sheath, and her father was a carpenter and her mother registered the birth. Sorry, you know what I'm laughing at. And the birth was registered on the 26th of June 1854. So we have the birth of Dorcas. I'll just refer to her as Dorcas, shall we, from now on. And when she was 9 years old, she may well have handled this brand new Victorian penny. So we lose the penny and we lose the birth certificate, and we move on to the marriage certificate. So we'll bring back the next 2 coins that we had before. The next coin is dated 1876, and Dorcas was 22 years old then, but she was already married with a few children. And here we are, 8th of February 1870. Thomas Smith marries Dorcas Court, so that's her husband. She says that she's 17 years old. Sorry, wrong pointer. Where's my lovely kebab stick? Here we are, kebab skewer. She says she's 17, but she's actually 15. She wouldn't have been 16 until June of that year. So she's not 17, she's 15, and that is a bit of a surprise. He says he's 25, but I have a feeling that he may be 30. So she's 15, he's 30. I have got some evidence of that in a minute. He's a private in the 7th Regiment, based in Shorncliffe. They marry in Cheriton, and both of those districts and Sandgate are all parts of Folkestone in Kent. So you can imagine he's in the army camp, Shorncliffe, and she's living down at Sandgate by the beach, and he takes a jolly off with some of his mates down the beach and meets up with Dorcas. Well, that's how I like to imagine it anyway. So Thomas says his father is Thomas Smith, a painter, and Dorcas says her father is George Court, a carpenter. Well, we know that's the same as on her birth certificate. So there we are. She's married in 1870. Our penny is dated 1876, by which time she's 22 years old, married with children. So we can lose the next penny and move on to the next piece of information to go with the last penny. And if you can bear with, I'll try and line you up so that you've got a good a view as you can. I will use a spyglass. So here we are, the last coin, another Victorian penny, another well-worn, rubbed Victorian penny. If you can see that. Not quite sure that you can actually. Well, if you can't, I won't put the video out, obviously. But there we are. So this one is dated 1901, and the nearest census I could lay my hands to for this person is 1891. So it's actually, the census is 10 years before 1901, but that's what we've used as an example. So we've got Dorcas. Remember, she's married to Thomas Smith, so she's now Dorcas Smith. Can you see that okay? No, I don't think you can. Let's bring it down just a little bit into shot, just a little bit more. There we are. Dorcas Smith, she's 34 years old, born about 1857, but we know she's not. She's born in 1854, so she wasn't 34 years old either. She's the wife of Thomas, and she was born in Chatham, but she's now living in Bermondsey in London. Right, now if I take this down a little bit further, we can see the people who are living with her, and the only reason she's at the top of this census is because I've selected her as the person that I was researching, so she comes out as the person that's first on the list. But she's living with Alice Smith, 7 months old, that's the daughter. There she is, Dorcas herself, aged 34. She's got James Smith, who's 14, her son. Mabel Smith, her daughter, who's 1. And that can't be quite right either, because she's a 1-year-old and a 7-month-old. So it's, shall we say, it's a little bit rounded up or down. And Thomas himself is 51, and they've got a son also, Thomas, who's 14. So because we're in 1891, their true ages are, let's have a look, 1891, and we know that he was born, we don't know that he was born there. We think he was 30, don't we? Because I've gone by the date he's here. So in 1891, according to 51, he would have been born in 1840. Okay. Now, if he was born in 1840, when he got married in 1870, he would have been 30, but he's put 25. So she's 15 when he got married, and he's 30. Interesting. The plot thickens. There we are. And then Dorcas herself says that she's 34, and so it says that she was born in 1857, but she wasn't. She was born in 1854. And in 1891 she would have been, so after 1854, away from there, 7 and 37 she would have been. So she would have been 37, not 34. So who knows which is true and which is not, except for the fact that we know which she was born because of her birth certificate. It would have been unlikely that the information given by the parents was untrue. I don't know how long you had to register a birth in those days. I believe it's about 6 weeks. Well, it was 6 weeks. I don't know what it is now, but I wouldn't have thought it was much different then, and it would be strange to think that the parents would change her birth much, if anything. So there we are. That's the 3 Victorian pennies, which link a time in history when these pennies were minted and were in circulation, with a person in my family history who is back several generations, but nonetheless is mine. There we are. Now, if you've got any questions about family history in particular, I know you won't have any about Victorian pennies, but if you do, please feel free to just put them in the notes below, and I'll find out the answers for you and give them to you in the notes so that everybody can share the information. If you have any questions about family history, please remember, don't put personal details in the comments below, because you must keep yourself secure and safe. So what you need to do is you need to go onto my little icon of the granny, press the icon, and it will take you to a page where there's headings on there, and the one that says about, if you press that one, it will give you my email address, and you can send me a private email telling me what you want to know about your family history and ask me the question. So if you want to know how to go about starting, or if you've come to a brick wall, that means that you've come to somebody in your family history that you just cannot find and you need a bit of help. I'm not saying I can find them for you. What I can say is I can either help you look, or I can point you in the right direction, or if I actually find that person, I can say, I think what you need to do is, so that you can discover the person yourself. Well, I hope you enjoyed that little journey. It's been lovely to see you, and I'll see you again soon. Take care until then, boys and girls. Bye bye.